Wu looked at the tactical display, his hands slightly shaking. "Captain, we just destroyed an entire Zorn combat group." June watched the drifting alien ships. "No. We just changed the rules of galactic warfare." Outside the ship's massive viewscreen, stars continued their silent dance. Somewhere in the vast darkness, other civilizations would soon hear about what happened here. About the human ship that turned impossible into reality. The hunt had just begun. The silence after the first engagement was more thunderous than any explosion. Captain June Park watched the disabled Zorn vessels drift like broken toys against the starry backdrop. What had just happened would rewrite every understanding of interstellar warfare. Tactical Officer Wu Kim's hands moved across quantum interfaces that looked more like living energy than traditional technology. Each touch created rippling holographic displays that seemed to breathe with information. "Quantum adaptive response is functioning at 98.7% efficiency," Wu reported. His voice carried a mix of professional calm and barely contained excitement. The Defiance weapon systems were nothing like conventional military technology. Where other species used direct energy weapons or conventional projectiles, humans had developed something entirely different. Quantum entanglement allowed the ship to manipulate energy at its most fundamental level. When Zorn ships fired, their own energy was turned against them. Not through simple reflection, but through complex quantum redirections that made their weapons essentially attack themselves. It was like watching a predator suddenly become its own prey. "Targeting sequence initiated," a computer voice announced. The next wave of Zorn reinforcements arrived, expecting to find scattered debris and a defeated human vessel. Instead, they discovered something that defied all their strategic understanding. The Defiant moved like liquid thought through space. Its movements weren't just fast, they were mathematically impossible. It could be in multiple potential positions simultaneously, making traditional targeting completely useless. Wu's display showed something extraordinary. Each Zorn weapon strike was being analyzed, broken down, and understood faster than the aliens could adapt. It was like the human ship was learning in real time, transforming defensive maneuvers into offensive capabilities. "Energy cascade in 3, 2, 1, Wu announced. The result was clinical. Not dramatic explosions. Just precise, calculated technological disruption. Zorn ships simply powered down, their complex systems becoming nothing more than cold metal drifting in the void. Captain June watched without emotion. This wasn't just a battle. This was a demonstration. "Communication intercept," another officer called out. "Zorn Command is demanding explanation." June's response was simple. "There is no explanation. Only understanding." What the Zorn didn't realize was that humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. While other species fought traditional wars, humans had been developing technologies that existed between known scientific principles. Quantum computing. Energy manipulation. Predictive strategy algorithms that could calculate millions of potential outcomes in microseconds. The Defiant wasn't just a ship. It was a mobile quantum computer capable of warfare. More Zorn ships arrived. Each wave became progressively more sophisticated in their attack strategies. Each wave was systematically neutralized with increasing efficiency. "Adaptive response at 99.2%, Wu reported. The bridge crew worked like a single organism. No wasted movements. No unnecessary communication. Just pure, focused execution of their mission. Outside, space itself seemed to watch. Stars continued their silent dance, indifferent to the technological revolution happening among them. By the battle's end, over 30 Zorn vessels had been completely disabled. Not destroyed. Not blown into fragments. Just stopped. Their complex systems rendered as useful as dead metal. Tactical summary, June requested. Wu's display showed a clinical breakdown. 0 human casualties. Complete technological dominance. A strategic victory that rewrote every understanding of interstellar conflict. "We've sent a message," June said quietly. That message was clear: humanity was no longer a minor species to be ignored. They were a force that could not be understood through traditional strategic thinking. The Defiant moved forward, quantum drives humming with potential. Somewhere in the vast darkness, other civilizations would soon learn about what happened here. The galaxy would never be the same, and news traveled faster than light through galactic communication networks. The story spread like wildfire. A single human battleship had destroyed an entire Zorn combat group without losing a single crew member. In the central command of the Zorn Collective, emergency sessions erupted. Holographic displays showed the battle recordings over and over. Alien strategists watched in disbelief as the Terran vessel moved with impossible precision, neutralizing advanced weapon systems like they were nothing more than simple toys. "Impossible," muttered Krell, the senior strategic advisor. His tentacle-like appendages trembled as he reviewed the data. Generations of Zorn military superiority were crumbling in minutes. Communication networks across multiple alien civilizations buzzed with the news. The humans, a species previously considered technologically primitive and insignificant, had just demonstrated capabilities that defied all known understanding of warfare. On distant planetary systems, military commanders studied the battle recordings. Each replay revealed new layers of technological sophistication that seemed to emerge from nowhere. The Defiant wasn't just a ship. It was a quantum computational weapon that could predict and neutralize threats before they even materialized. Earth's intelligence agencies watched silently. They had prepared for this moment for decades, developing technologies in secret research facilities scattered across solar system colonies. The battle was more than a military engagement. It was a calculated demonstration of human potential. Diplomatic channels became chaos. Species that had ignored or looked down on humanity now scrambled to understand this sudden technological leap. How could a species that seemed so technologically backward suddenly display such advanced capabilities? The Zorn Collective's foundational belief of galactic superiority began crumbling like ancient stone. Their entire military doctrine was built on the assumption of technological dominance. Now, that assumption had been completely destroyed by a single human battleship. "We need to understand their technology," Krell demanded during an emergency council meeting. Holographic displays showed multiple strategic simulations, each ending with complete Zorn defeat. Other alien civilizations began reassessing their intelligence reports about humans. Hidden research facilities. Quantum computing developments. Advanced energy manipulation technologies that existed between known scientific principles. The Defiant became more than a ship. It became a symbol of humanity's unexpected potential. Captain June Park understood the larger game. This wasn't just about winning a battle. This was about changing the entire galactic perception of human capabilities. Communication networks continued spreading the story. A single human battleship. 30 disabled Zorn vessels. 0 human casualties. On Earth, military and scientific leadership watched the global reaction. They had prepared for this moment. Developed technologies in complete secrecy. Waited for the right moment to demonstrate human potential. That moment had arrived. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity was no longer a minor species to be ignored or conquered. They were a force that demanded respect. Alien civilizations that had spent generations believing in their own superiority now faced a terrifying reality: humans were not just survivors. They were potential rulers of the galactic stage. The Defiant continued its journey through space, quantum drives humming with potential. Each star system it passed became a reminder of the new galactic order. Humanity had arrived. And nothing would be the same again. The Defiant's quantum drives hummed with a quiet power that seemed to whisper of potential and promise. Captain June Park stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the holographic star maps that now looked different. These weren't just navigation charts anymore. They were pathways to a new future. Encrypted transmissions from Earth arrived continuously. Each message carried the same underlying tone: humanity was no longer playing defense. They were going on the offensive. Wu Kim tracked the incoming communications, his fingers dancing across quantum interfaces that looked more like living energy than traditional technology. "New mission parameters," he announced. We're not just protecting colonies anymore. We're expanding. The battle with the Zorn Collective had changed everything. What started as a defensive response to a colony's destruction had transformed into something much larger. Humanity was rewriting the rules of galactic interaction. Star charts were being redrawn. Diplomatic channels that had been silent for generations suddenly buzzed with activity. Species that had ignored humans for centuries now scrambled to understand this new player in the galactic game. "Prepare quantum jump sequence," June commanded. The ship's systems responded instantly. Where other vessels would take hours to calculate faster than light travel, the Defiant could do it in seconds. Each jump was a mathematical marvel, bending the very fabric of spacetime. Intelligence reports suggested multiple potential conflict zones. Colonies under threat. Civilizations on the brink of destruction. The human military had decided, no more waiting. No more hiding. Multiple target zones identified, Wu reported. His voice carried a mix of professional calm and barely contained excitement. The Defiant wasn't just a battleship. It was a symbol of human potential. Every movement, every strategic decision sent a message across the galaxy. Humanity had arrived, and they were nothing like anyone expected. Alien civilizations that had spent generations believing in their own superiority now faced a terrifying reality. Humans were not just survivors. They were potential architects of a new galactic order. June reviewed the mission parameters. Protect vulnerable colonies. Demonstrate human capabilities. Establish new diplomatic ground rules. It was more than military strategy. It was a complete reshaping of interstellar relationships. The ship's quantum computers processed millions of potential scenarios in milliseconds. Each calculation was a step toward a future where humanity would no longer be considered a minor species. "Quantum adaptive shields at maximum," a computer voice announced. Outside the massive viewscreen, stars continued their silent dance. But something had changed. The darkness between those stars was no longer empty. It was filled with possibility. Communication networks across multiple star systems continued spreading the story. A single human battleship had changed everything. 30 disabled Zorn vessels. 0 human casualties. A demonstration of technological superiority that defied all previous understanding. Wu looked up from his display. "Captain, we're receiving requests for diplomatic engagement from 3 separate star systems." June's response was simple. "Plot our course." The Defiant moved forward, its quantum drives creating impossible geometric patterns through space. Each jump was a statement. Each movement a declaration. Humanity was no longer waiting to be discovered. They were doing the discovering. On Earth, military and scientific leadership watched the global reaction. They had prepared for this moment for decades. Developed technologies in complete secrecy. Waited for the right moment to demonstrate human potential. That moment had arrived. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage, and they were ready to lead. As the Defiant continued its journey, something became clear. This wasn't just about military power. This was about proving that humanity's potential was limited only by imagination. A new era had begun.